listening to We Watch Movies.
I'm Ava.
And I'm Jenna.
And we watch movies! So this week we watched Godzilla vs. Kong, which, if you haven't seen it, just, monster fighting monster. Also, if you can hear loud rumbling outside, that isn't a monster fighting a monster, that is thunder, because we are recording this on a dark and stormy night. Just kidding, it's like 4 o'clock. But yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong. If you don't know who Godzilla is, big lizard shoots lasers. And Kong, big gorilla, doesn't shoot lasers, apparently wields an axe.
Yolnir too.
Wait, what? His name is Stormbreaker, actually.
Okay, yeah.
So this is Stormbreaker 2. Stormbreaker 2. But anyways, it got a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. I liked it, but if you are a story-driven viewer, you probably won't, I guess. That's how I'm gonna put it for now. Jenna, what were your initial reactions?
Like, this movie was stupid. But, like, it wasn't bad, it was just stupid, you know? Like, watching it, like, I didn't hate it or anything, it's just, like you said, like, the story is literally the two big boys fight, and literally everything else that happens in the plot is to service that main plot point. So, if you're not into seeing two big monsters duke it out, then you won't like this movie.
Other than, like, the big monsters fighting, the best part about this movie is that Matt Pat predicted it completely 100% perfectly. And I appreciate that. Yeah. And I was like, because that doesn't happen usually. I mean, love his videos, but, like, usually there's something that's off, you know? Like, but, okay, by the way, spoiler warning if you haven't seen this, or if you haven't seen his video, either one, go watch them. They're both pretty good, worth your time. Unless you don't like monsters, then don't watch this one. But you can watch Matt Pat's video because he's a king. Anywho, he was like, oh, they can't have a winner between Godzilla or Kong because both of them have really profitable franchises.
That's
so
what
they
I was
can't
thinking.
Kill one of them. So he was like, okay, they need to team up against something at the end. But what are they going to team up against? And then he's like, Mecha Godzilla. And see, I knew Mecha Godzilla was going to be in this because I don't know if it leaked or if it was just released and somebody found it, but like a trailer from like China or something had Mecha Godzilla in it. Like you saw a glimpse of it. And so I knew it was going to be in it, and that's kind of when I knew that Matt Pat was right, and I was like, oh my gosh! Film theory! Take me!
And I remember I was watching this movie, and by halfway through, once they had, shown Mechagodzilla, and, I kind of saw how things were unfolding, I was like, okay, I know exactly where this is going. And I was like, yeah, and it makes sense, because none of the screenwriters want to say who would win this fight, because that's not good for them. Even though, King Kong is, pretty weak in this movie, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And, okay, it just... I don't know. Well, my first issue with this is they know that Godzilla is roaming the waters. Why didn't they just start by helicarrying King Kong? It would have been faster, too. That whole scene was preventable.
Because they took him on a boat. So then Godzilla and King Kong fight, a third of the way through the movie. So, this whole thing that you're building up, you already do. And, I get that it's not, the big final battle thing, but still.
Hello? Oh no, okay, so I think the storm took out Jenna.
Hi.
Hi, did the storm just kill you?
Maybe? I don't know, maybe I drowned.
Oh. I'm not gonna cut that out, because that was funny.
Well, I don't know where I left off in my rant, but, anyway. like, I knew King Kong wasn't gonna, like, win the final battle because all they did was give him an axe. Like...
But the thing was, there's, like... They couldn't... I knew from the way that they were telling the story, there was no way that they could have let Godzilla win. Because they were making King Kong so sympathetic. Like, when is Godzilla gonna get his sympathetic story arc? I want to see that. I want to see them make this giant lizard monster sympathetic. Because, like, I mean, I've seen the other movies for Godzilla. I didn't see the other King Kong movie. But, like, they had this whole arc about King Kong wants to go find his family in the Hollow Earth, me. And then Godzilla was just like, I mean, they had the idea, like, oh, Godzilla attacked them because they were replacing him. But they didn't lean into that at all. And, like,
how did that even work?
Like, personally, I'm Team Godzilla. Except it was hard to be because they didn't give him any sympathetic, like, character arcs, you know?
Instead, they had, like, so many meaningless human characters. Like, I don't know who any of these people were. Like, could we get rid of some of them so we could, like... Because, like, Godzilla should technically be, like, one of the main characters of this movie.
Literally.
Wow, that's a sentence. But... he just vibes in the water, being, like, big boy Jaws. So... I don't understand that decision, because the side characters, like, all they do, like, the little girl and, like, her adoptive mom, like, they can stay. I guess they were important enough. But, like, the podcast trio, sorry, fellow
Literally!
podcasters.
Oh my god.
All you did was pour liquid over a computer to give it bad connection. There were so many other ways they could have done the, like, climax to this movie to give, like, the monster boyos the upper hand, but no, they didn't, and that's just really bothered me.
Like, if you want to have humans in your movie where nobody's going to see the humans, like, go ahead, but, like, make them useful. You know, like, I mean, I'm looking at the cast right now, and Millie Bobby Brown is, like, number 1 on the cast list, right? And she was, like, I guess she was important in the other movie. Honestly, I don't really remember what she did in the other Godzilla movie that much. I just remember Godzilla, like, killing that Hydra person. But, like, if you want her to be in your movie so that you can put her on the top of the cast list and profit off of Stranger Things, go ahead. But make her do something. I mean, we all know that she's talented, we all know that she's charismatic, we all know that she's popular. Okay, fine. That's plenty of reasons to cast her. But if you don't give her anything to do of, like, importance, no one's gonna care. And it just bothered me, you know?
Yeah, like, there was no reason to have all of these side characters in this movie when, if they're not servicing, like, Godzilla and King Kong and how, like, they're fighting, why bog down this movie with irrelevant things that no one wanted to see? Like, people didn't go to this movie to be like, oh, I'm so invested in these human characters. Like, no, they want to see King Kong and Godzilla throw down.
And also, so, this Mechagodzilla, right? It would have costed, like, billions of dollars to create, right? Mm-hmm. And there is no way in any hecking universe that somebody who's willing to put billions and billions of dollars into a giant robot that will kill people and things, like, and shoot lasers and everything, there's no way that they are going to make it so that that can be taken offline by a spill. Like, I feel like imagine if NASA did that, right? So they had these airplanes, NASA's airplanes that go to space, like pew pew. So they have a rocket ship, right? And they're launching the rocket ship. Say, like, some random dude in ground control spills their coffee on their computer. I don't think that the rocket ship is gonna, like, fall out of the sky. Because I feel like NASA would have planned for that. And you gotta be kind of like NASA caliber to create literally Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, I just, like, of all the things, and you have, like, and at that point, like, King Kong had joined the fight against Mechagodzilla. So, honestly, the audience already expects King Kong and Godzilla to win together. So, it's not like we're gonna be like, oh, it's unbelievable that they were able to beat it without anything else happening. Like, you don't need them helping. Like, it just doesn't accomplish anything. If anything, it just makes the point of this movie feel weaker because we wanted to see Godzilla and King Kong in action, but then it's just like, oh, I'm gonna pour this drink over this computer. Woohoo.
Like, I get that they need, like, I get that they're trying to build up lore in this universe, and that's why they need this podcaster dude. Whatever, I don't care. And I get that Millie Bobby Brown has a contract, from the other movies. See, a character that I think they could have just done away with completely was Josh. This dude was so annoying the whole time. And he didn't do anything except pour the whiskey on the computer. Which I'm convinced that entire thing is just because the the filmmakers made Mechagodzilla so powerful that there wasn't really a way for them to make it a reasonable defeat or whatever, or they couldn't be creative enough to come up with one, even with both of these giant monsters fighting Mechagodzilla. So they were just like, how do we kill? Oh, this is like short-circuit its computer. Who's gonna do that? Oh, what about this character who hasn't done anything this whole movie except for be annoying?
Yeah, like at that point, like just get rid of the character.
And also, I think that they could have gotten rid of the podcaster's character at the point of Millie Bobby Brown's character hearing the podcast, and then she could have gone and ran an investigation by herself.
Yeah,
I didn't need him for half the movie.
That.
Yeah,
like,
and because
just, like, not even from like a making a story perspective, just as someone watching it.
If it was her by herself, I would have permitted more of the stupid things that she did. But like the fact that she had an adult who worked there with her, and she still ended up in, where were they, Hong Kong or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention, I'm really annoyed that they have that super transportation technology and they're not sharing it with the rest of the world. Just imagine how much money they would have had to pour into that technology, right? Imagine, like, they spent a lot of money on making that. They would make a ton of money on using that. Like, hypertrain, hyper travel, I don't know. Get to Europe in time for your lunch date. People would fork out money on that. I'm sorry, but they would. Like, oh, make France a day trip. Huh? Like, I would do that. They're already billionaires, but they would be, if they had put their money into that technology instead of Mechagodzilla, none of this movie would have happened, you know?
Yeah, you'd have a better society with no Godzilla destroying Hong Kong.
I feel like Godzilla would even let you do that too, because I know it's in the ocean, but I feel like Godzilla wouldn't really care that much. They'd be like, oh, just make your little tunnel thing, I don't care. But you start... Yeah, I mean... I just like... there's just so many dumb things in the plot. And I know that... See, I'm just trying to start this out by airing all my grievances with the story, because this definitely isn't a movie that's trying to get by on its story. Because it did have a lot of cool things in it. Like, the whole Hollow Earth place was really cool. And I'll get more into that later. But, yeah, no, the people in this movie, the majority of them were just so beyond annoying and pointless. And it's just... I mean, and I don't even think it's fault of the actors, because the actors are talented people. They're like a good solid cast, and they just didn't need to spend their time doing this movie. But you know what,
And
actually,
the movie didn't need them.
you know, I'm sure they got paid handsomely for this. So you know what? Good on them for doing their job and not necessarily adding anything to the movie. That sounds really mean. I'm not trying to be mean to them. It just bothers me. They did a great job.
Give us absolutely nothing.
They did okay. It's like one of those situations where it's like the actors did the best they could.
Yeah.
But like there was no point to their characters being there.
Resistance was futile. Their existence was flawed from the start.
But I do want to talk about the Hollow Earth because I thought that was really cool.
Why didn't we do more with that?
I think they should put Godzilla down there.
That's what I was thinking. You could just get rid of him without having to try and find a way to kill him, and he'll be happy in his own world. Like, let the big lizard boy be free in Hollow Earth.
But like, it was so cool how they did it. Like, cause they made it like they had this place where the gravity just changes, and then you just flip over. And it's such a pretty design too. They did give like a ton of history to King Kong, which they didn't give anything to Godzilla. Once again, I know that they have a lot of history behind the Titans or whatever in King of Monsters, but they say Kong is a Titan, and so the Titans' history is also Kong's history. And then here Kong is finding like, oh, he has like an entire tribe of people who are somewhere down there or something. And he has like these artifacts and such. And all of this rich history. And it still bothers me that we didn't get that for Godzilla, because Godzilla's my pal, my buddy, my chum. Yeah, me and Godzilla, we're tight. Like, we get brunch on Sundays. Like, yeah.
Oh man, what? Can you invite me one day?
No.
I don't want to intrude on your brunch, but
no. He eats.
Oh man.
I only get. See, we have to get a lot of food for brunch, and I am only left with like one croissant. And Godzilla eats all of the. So that would be like, if I were to make more food, it would just be a hassle, and like, it's
I get it.
It's expensive feeding like Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, give him my wishes at least next time you meet up.
Anyways, no, I wanted more stuff for Godzilla because, I mean, I know that like. No, I don't know that. I don't think that Godzilla is stupider than King Kong, because I know that they made King Kong all, like, human, and they copied Coco the gorilla with the whole sign language thing. They didn't give Godzilla any of that. Godzilla was, like, so upstaged by King Kong in this movie. And then they have Mechagodzilla, so not only is he being upstaged by King Kong, he's being replaced by Mechagodzilla. And I want, like, I just think he's cooler, and he needs, like, more story to him, or her. I don't even know. Does Godzilla have a gender? Like, what is its pronouns? I want to know. I'm gonna Google that.
Okay.
Tell us about the music.
The music, well, it wasn't like some like super like complex music. It was still good. I was bopping my head along. It fit the vibe. I meant to Google this before I came on here. For some reason, I thought it was the same person who did the Transformers soundtrack, but I'm not sure. But if I am right with that, then it made sense because I mean big things fighting. But if I'm not, it was still a good soundtrack. It just like it felt like a little more like tech wavy, which made sense because you have like all the Apex stuff going on, and it also fit like all the big fight scenes. And just it would have been weird if it was like orchestral music trying to do that when you have like two big monsters punching each other. So it was a good soundscape.
Just as an update, in the original Japanese films, Godzilla and all other monsters are referred to with gender-neutral pronouns equivalent to it, while in the English dubbed versions, Godzilla is explicitly described as male. I should know this if he's my brunch buddy, but I don't know. It doesn't really come up. He's kind of like screams the whole time and like shoots lasers at his eggs. This joke has gone on for far too long. I'm sorry. But no, I think just overall, like,
it was not the same person who did Transformers. Then what? Oh, that's who that guy is. It's the Snyder Cut guy.
It's the Snyder Cut guy?
Yeah, well, he did something for the Snyder Cut. What did he do? Yeah, he did the Snyder Cut. He did Alita Battle Angel. That's the one I'm thinking of. I mean, it still fit.
Have you seen that movie?
I have seen that one.
Interesting.
Take that.
But I had the privilege of seeing this movie in theaters with my mother, and we saw it in IMAX, so like that giant screen, because I told my mom, I was like, oh, that movie's coming out soon, we can watch it on HBO Max if you want, and she was like, no, big monsters, big screen. So we saw it in IMAX, and the speakers, they're really big too, and like every time they like took a step or anything, it was like you could feel it in your soul, just like vibrating every bone in your skeleton, and it was like they were just so big. It was really cool.
Yeah, I've only seen one movie in IMAX. I did not see this movie in theaters. I just watched it at home on HBO Max. But it was still interesting. Probably would have been better to see on the screen, but I haven't been in a movie theater in like over a year. That's fine. But I've seen one movie in IMAX, only once. And it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Good movie.
Ooh.
But I saw it when it came out, and I was pretty young when that happened, and I don't like love loud noises and everything, so like I enjoyed the movie, but I was like, never again doing that to myself. Too much.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll see a movie in IMAX, and I think I want to say that the last movie I saw in IMAX before this one was Frozen 2, and that was a hoot because, spoilers if you haven't seen Frozen 2, but, like, you know the scene where Olaf, like, Infinity War style dies?
Yeah.
And so all the babies got to see that, like, 40 feet high, and, there was a family that had to walk out of the theater. And they didn't come back!
Oh no! So they didn't even see him come back.
He just left. Like we saw that movie like right after it came out, and so the entire theater was filled with just a bunch of like small children who are really invested, and so like, and children don't have a very big filter when it's like you're in a public place and you're not supposed to talk during the movie. So when like that happened, you just heard. It's coming from everywhere. Just but and there's this one kid who goes, Olaf! And like
just a chorus of dismay.
and see, it was like me and my mom and my sister. And my sister was like 18 and I was like 16 and my mom's like an adult. So it's like just picture us and like several other groups of teenagers or whatever, and then like just a slew of small children. And that's what it was like. Kind of similar to if you watch any of those like audience reactions to like Infinity War. It sounded like if you listen to the audience reactions of Infinity War, like the snap, and you listen to how they react at first, like when Bucky goes whoosh. That's not a spoiler, right? That's old enough. Yeah, it's old enough.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
Like it's when people still don't understand what's going on. They go like, woof, you know, and then they're like, oh, what, Bucky, what? That's kind of what it sounded like. I'm not talking about like at the point when Spider-Man dusts and everybody's like, no.
Yeah, I had a pretty like subdued audience. I saw it twice, and both times it was pretty quiet. But I remember, I think it was my first viewing. Like the first time Black Panther showed up, like the whole row in front of me just starts like screaming. They were like, "Yeah!" And then at the end, when like he gets dusted, that whole row was just very silent.
There is a see I watched like an hour-long video of audience reactions to Infinity War, and I think it was also Endgame. And it's like these are the people who go to the theater in like big cities on like the day it came out. And I saw Endgame 2 days after it came out, because it came out on like a Thursday, and I saw it on a Saturday. But I saw it 4 times in theaters. And there are no in the area that we are. There's no theaters that are gonna scream about it or anything. But there were some definite reactions. I had a smidgen of a panic attack at the end, but it was fine. I just wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting to be so distraught, but it's fine. But anyways, I've always kind of wanted to go to a theater like that, like for a big release like that, and just like be able to scream when big things happen. But I definitely recommend watching that video because it's really fun.
When all of this is over, Ava, we should go on a channel field trip to like a big city movie theater.
Like the day that a big movie comes out?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Tangent aside though, because back to the movie that we're supposed to be talking about, if anybody's still listening right now, because that was not about the correct movie. If you are still listening, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, or like whatever you're listening on, because I'm pretty sure you can follow us on like whatever you're listening on. And like you can leave a like and like comment and all that fun stuff. But yeah, if you're still listening, you're probably a recurring listener, to be honest. And that means that you know that we go on tangents a lot. So I'm surprised you're a recurring listener, but that's cool. But back to the big monsters. Yeah, seeing it on IMAX was really cool. It was like props to the animators though, because like it just looked so nice. I think it looked really cool. And I just specifically the scene in Hong Kong at night, not so much the scene in Hong Kong in the day. In the daytime it was kind of lame. I wish that they kept it at night for round 2, you know?
Yeah, I have no idea why they did that, because like Mechagodzilla literally lights up.
Yeah, even if they had to do it in like dawn and had like a sunrise in the background, because they just skipped sunrise. You know, it like
yeah, I was
boom,
so confused. I was like, wasn't it just night before? How is it morning?
It's just like, imagine those cool lights reflecting off of Mechagodzilla and like his like laser. See, I figured that they had it in the dark so that they could have those cool lights and the cool contrast, and also it would make their animating job easier because they wouldn't need to make the creatures look quite as real because they had the fancy lighting, and they wouldn't need to make them as detailed or whatever because they'll look weirder if you have them in full light. And then that wasn't the reason, because then they put Mechagodzilla in the daytime, which is really annoying because I wanted him to have like the cool lights reflecting on him and stuff, and I feel like that would have been cool. It would have been cool if they had it at the sunrise. That would have been awesome because they were right on the water too.
Yeah, like, why didn't they have the sunrise come in at the end? This Godzilla swims off into the sunrise, into a new day. Like, after all the fighting's been done in the dark, the light comes out. But, like, no. They just made a really weird continuity choice.
Like, even, it's just, like, if you look at Endgame, too, the big battle, like, it's technically daytime, but there's so much smoke and everything that it makes it basically nighttime, you know? So they make the battle in, like, their own created nighttime. Probably partially because that means that it's easier to animate things in shadows, because you don't need to make them look so cool, and they had, like, a bunch of people that they needed to animate in the background, and, like, monsters and everything. And so generally when you have big epic battle scenes like that, it'll be, like, dark, or, like, with weird colored lighting and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Then again, I'm not an animator, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Because, like, if you just took one of those scenes and just made it in broad daylight, it would look stupid. It would look stupid. Except for in Infinity War, the scene in Wakanda, they did a good job with that. But that's still not at the same level as the Endgame one. But, yeah, no, they're just... I just think that they had such a cool system with the lights and everything in Hong Kong, and the fancy colors and the smoke and everything, and it just looked so cool. And then they just decided to scrap that and bust out this really cool character, but he looked so dumb in the regular lighting. He looked so less intimidating than he would have if it was dark. And I don't know, I feel like that would have just made it a lot better if it was still dark.
Yeah, because, like, when they introduce his character, he's in darkness, and it's pretty dim where he is. But then they're like, nope, out into the light you go, and it's like, well, that's a giant robot dinosaur.
He just looked a lot smaller, too.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. And then there was that scene with, like, King Kong, who, like, basically was dying and then suddenly wasn't. And see, King Kong is supposed to be this massive dude, right? And then this guy is like, I thought he was sacrificing himself because he needed to explode the thing on top of Godzilla or whatever. Or not Godzilla, King Kong, to, like, restart his heart or something. This whole thing I had issues with. But I thought he was gonna stay in the ship, because there's no way that he could have cleared King Kong's body fast enough. But he did somehow. Like, he got out of the ship and crawled down King Kong's body, this giant, massive mountain of a gorilla, and somehow got away fast enough for it to zap him back to life. And like, he made it and survived. I wanted him to die. That sounds really bad. I mean...
His character had no purpose.
Me, I'm just like, I wanted him to die!
Yeah, no, that whole thing felt very, like, yada yada to me. Like, you didn't need that. Just felt like a waste of time to me, to be honest. It was just like, oh, we can have Godzilla die.
I don't know...
Not on Overwatch.
I don't know if that guy and the girl's mom were supposed to be romantically involved in Skull Island or not, or if they're supposed to be, like, getting romantically involved in this movie, and then are gonna be a thing in the next movie. But it kind of feels like they are. But, like, if I'm being honest, nobody cares.
No,
like,
nobody watches this movie for the people.
Like, I don't care if you are so amazingly and perfectly and incandescently happy together, okay? I don't care. I don't care if your daughter is deaf and can talk to a gorilla, okay? I don't care if I don't care if you want to pour whiskey on a computer. I don't care. I want to see monsters fighting each other. And I want to see it now. Ugh. Okay. But
I was reminded why I don't like Twitter, because I saw a tweet of someone being like, why did that final battle between the two of them feel like romantic? And I was like, nope, this is why I'm not on Twitter. Bye.
what?
So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't stick around to see if there was an explanation. I just left.
Like, are you talking like romantic between who? What?
Between the monsters, Ava.
How would that even work?
I don't know. This is why I don't like Twitter.
Okay, dudes, let me just give you a lesson here. If two things are fighting each other and shooting lasers at each other, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's enemies to lovers, and it doesn't mean you should get out your Wattpad. Okay? I never asked for Godzilla Godzilla X Kong fanfiction, but I'm sure there is one.
Oh, come on now, Ava. There has to be.
If you want to find that, be my guest. I, however, will not be looking up Godzilla X Kong.
I will pull up AO3.
Oh god.
Let's see.
These are questions I never wanted to ask.
Okay. Let's get the other computer. I'm not looking this up on my other one. Not today, Satan. Okay.
Oh god. I know it's gonna exist, but I don't want it to. You know? I just don't. That's the way of the internet, though. Like, you think of something that you don't want to exist, but you know it's gonna exist because it's the internet, and it's 2021, and y'all are freaky. But, like, who would even read that? Who would want to think about that, though, too? Because, like, it's not like either of them is neither of them is something to, like, for, like, a human to be crushing on. And I assume that's why people do Wattpad stuff. Unless y'all are just deeply troubled.
I mean, it definitely exists.
What?
Oh, yeah. Moth is fairly popular out here, too. Okay, there's not that many.
Okay.
There's not that many. There's only one page.
Okay, are there any, what is it? What is it, Gadira? Are there any subs for Gadira? Because I think that's what it is. Am I just making up that name? I don't know. That's the dragon one with, like, 3 heads. And I feel like if any of the Titans were to be simped after by, like, crazy people, it would be, like, Gadira, because, like, people simp after the villain all the time. And you can't simp after Mechagodzilla, because that would be, an issue. This is not something I ever wanted to be thinking about.
Nothing's popping up for that.
Okay, good. We're okay, good. Well, there's hope for humanity yet. Not for any of the characters in this movie, though. I don't have hope for any of them because they're pointless.
Yep.
You know, here's
anyway.
I
apologize for that.
I want, a movie about Godzilla that is just like... I want a reason to care about him, because I care about him, but I want a reason to. Like, I want you to, like... Because that's the same thing with King Kong, you know? You gave us a reason to like him. You know, he's sign language so he can communicate, and he just wants his family. You know, his family might be in there, and so he goes in hunting for his family, and, like, he finds his history, and oh my god, he cares about this one child, and all this stuff, and he's like, oh, he's basically a giant human. Oh, we care about him so much. And then there's Godzilla. Godzilla go pew pew. But, like, they just... I just want them to give Godzilla. Okay, in a movie about like monsters, here's me saying, "Oh, let's give the monster more character." But yeah,
Godzilla deserved better.
I mean, Godzilla was barely in his own movies, like, ever. And he's just being upstaged by King Kong in this movie, and probably the next movie. And, like,
That should have been the real reason why they fought.
You're taking all the screen time!
Yeah.
No, I just
believe that.
It's just... I just think Godzilla is cooler. I mean, okay. What is it? Like a giant Komodo dragon versus a giant gorilla. But like, not necessarily, because Komodo dragons aren't able to like shoot lasers, and they don't have those cool spikes on them. And it's just like, Godzilla is so much cooler, and he's huge, you know? Whereas King Kong, what is he, a gorilla? That's it? Okay. And, like, they made him so human, like, okay. Are we just supposed to like him more because he's a human? No. I like Godzilla. And I want more Godzilla to be... I want him to have, you know, his time in the sun. I want him to have his glorious moment. Because he's cool, and he would have beat King Kong. We all know it. He literally killed him, basically.
He beat him twice in this movie.
Literally.
Twice!
And, like, it's just... that makes Godzilla just so much cooler in general, and objectively he's cooler, and it's just... Why are you going to spend all your time with character development on King Kong... and 0 on Godzilla when he's so much cooler? He's so much...
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you can scream lasers that like shine bright blue, yeah, sorry, you're the cooler character.
Oh my god, you know what they should do in the next movie? Can they give Godzilla like baby Godzillas? Like, okay, picture this. Godzilla turns out to be a girl Godzilla and had babies. Unless it's like a seahorse. And Godzilla is still a he who had babies. Like a seahorse. But anyways. And then Godzilla like fights something because he's protecting his babies. And like... And then he's like a parent. Can we give Godzilla a parent's character arc, please? Please.
Dad character arc.
Please. Oh my god, like Marlin and Nemo. maybe Godzilla's wife was killed by another Titan, and now Godzilla's protecting his baby. Oh my god, all of Godzilla's babies are killed, and his wife is killed, and it's just Godzilla and his one little child, and he's just like, I want to protect my kid. And you guys are making...
Godzilla come from eggs that hatch?
Oh my god!
I feel like I have a memory that I watched like one of the original black and white Godzilla movies, and there were eggs that were hatching underneath some city. So like we could literally have a Finding Nemo moment because all the other eggs get destroyed by another Titan, but then there's one egg left.
Or maybe in the next movie they're like investigating the Hollow Earth, right? And then one of these stupid scientists like grab an egg and pull it out and bring it up into the earth, and then it hatches, and Godzilla saves it and raises it! Guys, I solved this movie. I fixed it. I fixed your sequels, guys. Like, just give Godzilla a parent arc. Cause like, I mean...
I hate how much I want this now.
Cause King Kong had his whole, like, estranged child moment, cause he wants to find his family. He's like an orphan, right? But Godzilla just doesn't have a family. They just didn't give him that. So what if he just gets an opportunity to have a family? It's just Godzilla butches with babies, and then he just takes care of the babies, and he's just protecting his babies, and he's like a protective father, but like a cool dad who will like let his babies go out to hang out with friends and stuff, and he'll let him come home late, but is still worried about him what he does. Oh my god!
Baby Godzilla and that one little girl from this movie hang out.
Jenna! Can we just like, okay, what was this? This was Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers?
I think.
Yeah, if it was HBO Max, then it was Warner Brothers.
Okay, Warner Brothers, listen up. I will accept, a solid $1 million to get me on the writing team for my idea. Here, you can buy my idea for $1 million. And I'm putting this out into the world now, so everybody knows that it's my idea. And yeah, so if you want me to work on your movie and just fix it for you, you know what, I'll be nice. What about like a solid like 700,000? Okay, just put me through just put me through college.
You're underselling yourself.
Put me and all of my friends through college and buy me a house. That's all I'm asking. Just do that for me. And I'm sure you've paid people less. I'm sure you've like, what wasn't Robert Downey Jr. paid like $60 million to be in 8 Minutes of Far From Home, or not Far From Home, Homecoming? Isn't, like, wasn't he paid like something like the absurd amount of money for just 8 minutes?
Probably.
I'm not even asking for that. Like, get me a college education and like a place to live when I graduate, and I will give you this genius idea. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, I'll bust out my Wattpad account and I'll make it so bad that you have to one-up me.
Yes.
That's your threat.
No. Jenna will bust out her Wattpad and she'll write my version of the movie before you do, if you don't contact me. Like, before your movie comes out, she'll write my version. And she'll release it.
We will make our own version on the channel, and everyone will love it, and you'll be mad that you didn't do it.
Yeah, it'll be like hashtag release the Snyder cut. But instead it'll be hashtag release the Ava cut. And and it will and yeah, so it'll just be like, everybody's gonna be like, Godzilla vs. Kong 2 was so bad. You should have hashtag released the Ava cut. And then you're gonna come crawling back to me, and maybe my price will have gone up. Maybe you'll have to also put me through graduate school. I don't know. Maybe you'll have to give me job security. It's sad that, okay, it's just depressing that that's what I'm asking. If that doesn't tell you what society is like for the youth nowadays, then I don't know what does.
I mean, in this economy?
In this economy, you can buy my screenplay for the low price of a college education. Health insurance would be nice. You throw
give me all the benefits.
Yeah. Well, you give me a fully paid off car. That'd be cool. I'd accept that. I might even I might even give your humans a purpose too, if you let me think on it hard enough.
Yeah, I mean, if you throw in like insurance, your human characters might actually be meaningful again.
Yeah, so Jenna and I are actually like really good writers. Like we're like getting an award or something. We don't know what the award is yet, but
no.
It was one of those like sus things where your teacher's like, "Ooh, you got a secret thing." And yeah, so Jen and I got a high school writing award. So obviously we're better than all of your Hollywood writers combined. And therefore, you want us and you need us.
Yeah, Ava wrote a really cool horror short story, and I wrote an edgy poem. And we don't know if we won one, but we won. Ergo, we're probably more decorated than the writers who wrote this movie. Just kidding, that's a joke. But also, am I joking?
No. No, we're not. Because winning a high school writing award in Nowheresville is like the highest achievement a writer can get. But you know what? I don't even know what the writers are like on a movie like this, because it's just like, I don't even know. Do you need writers for a movie like this? Just be like, big monster, go boom. Like that's like that.
Yeah, I feel like you need more like. Would you have fight choreographers if most of the fights are CGI?
I wonder if they had like people in those suits with like the dots on them. I wonder if they had them doing anything for at least King Kong. They probably did, right?
Yeah, because he's like human enough. He stands on two legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if they would do that for Godzilla, but maybe just to get some basic motions down, because they do have him as like a biped. So that's cool. I can't believe I just said biped. Who says biped? Ew. But yeah, so that's fun. Anyways, I'm gonna go cry because college is expensive. And you guys can spend some more time of your day listening to our podcast on like anywhere you listen to podcasts, or go back on our channel and listen to some other episodes here on YouTube, unless you're not already on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I have a video coming out this weekend. I don't know what it is. Jenna had a video that came out this weekend already. You can go check that out. It was pretty cool. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Those will be in the descriptions. We post some like cute little highlights on there, so that's fun. And yeah, if you want us to get on Twitter, I will force Jenna to run it, and she will have a terrible time. So, also comment if you want that. Anyways, thanks for listening if you made it this far. Jenna, do you have anything to add?
You know, when watching this movie, I realized that, you know, girls don't want boys. Girls want giant monsters fighting. I don't need to explain why I came up with that idea.
See, Jenna's not like other girls. Okay, bye!